Hello everybody, it's Bob Guerrero again with another guitar review here on my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe if you like my content, if you like my songs and my guitar reviews. This is my third guitar review, and today it is a dreadnought from Takamine, the GD11M-NS. That's the full name of the guitar. So I bought this guitar this morning for 8,500 Philippine pesos, about 170 US dollars. So not a lot of money for this purely acoustic guitar. It's about a year and a half old. And I'm very happy playing around with this all day. And I've been looking at this model for a long time. And here is why. Every time I'm on YouTube and I see reviews of this particular instrument or similar instruments, because there is the GD11MCE, which is the same guitar but with a cutaway and a preamp and a pickup and a tuner here. So that's a stage-ready version of this. Every time I've seen a video of this guitar on YouTube, I've been so impressed by the sound. It has this wonderful mellow sound, lots of sustain, resonance, and I was really curious. And there's a fantastic Filipino singer, songwriter, guitarist by the name of Bildex Pagales. Bildex as in build, and then EX, and then Pagales, and he plays with a GD11MCE, and it sounds fantastic in all of his recordings. So I was really curious about this. So I found one on sale at this great price, and I picked it up this morning, and here it is. So let's go through the name first. GD11M-NS. So G stands for G series, which, as you probably know, is the series of affordable guitars by Takamine. They are all made in China, and they are affordable. D in the name stands for dreadnought. This is a dreadnought guitar. I believe it's 41 inches long. Scale length is 644 millimeters or 25.35 inches, I believe. So it's a dreadnought. It's got a big bassy tone. You'll hear it later. 11 means it's the 1 series. It's the entry level, and it is a mahogany series. I think the GD10s are not mahogany. And then M means it's mahogany, back, sides, top, neck, pretty much the big parts are all mahogany. And NS stands for natural satin. So as you can see, it is not a glossy finish. It's got this satiny finish, which I really like. A lot of mid-range and lower-end guitars have this finish, unlike the glossy finish in higher-end guitars. And I don't mind the natural satin finish at all. A word on the mahogany. So Takamine has two websites. They have takamine.com and esptakamine.com. I don't know why there are two websites, but one of those websites says this is all mahogany, and the other one says it is a mahogany neck and then sapele, top, sides, and back. Sapele is sometimes referred to as African mahogany, although it is not really part of the mahogany family. And I think it's a more readily available wood. I've heard that it's a farmed wood. It's a sustainable wood. So I'm not really sure if this is an all mahogany guitar. But it has that look, definitely. The wood grain here looks a lot different from this top grain, although they have the same kind of color. But if you look closely, they are very different. So, as I mentioned earlier, this is not a solid top guitar. It is a laminated top guitar, like most entry-level and some mid-range affordable guitars. Now, usually that means a pretty lame tone. Kind of not resonant, not full, not rich. But I can say that this is the best laminated top guitar that I have ever played. And it can pass for a solid top guitar. I have played solid top guitars that have not sounded as nice as this. I have played other laminated top Takamines that did not sound as nice as this. There's something special about this. So a close look here. That's the headstock. You have the Takamine logo. You have the peaked headstock there. That's very common among all Takamine models. And this is painted. And I believe this is a plastic nut. 42.5 millimeter nut width. A little bit narrow for me. I'd love to have a 1 3/4 inch nut. This is about 1.67 inches, but works fine for most people. The fretboard is a wood called laurel, and I would assume it's Indian laurel because that seems to be the kind of laurel that's being used on guitars. I think it's beautiful. It's not as dark as the rosewood that's used in a lot of fretboards, but there's some different colors that you're seeing on it, shades of brown, and I would assume that this bridge is also laurel. It seems to be the same wood on the fretboard. So as we mentioned, a top that is laminated, and you can see here if you look very, very closely at the holes, if it's a solid top guitar, you will see the grain going through the wood, and you don't see that here. So and the back and sides seem to be mahogany. It could be sapele, but probably we'll assume that this is an all mahogany guitar. The binding is black binding, and the purfling is white, black, white, I think, and it's very well done all around the perimeter of the top. The rosette also black and white, very simple, very classy, and a black plastic pickguard. Okay, on the back you get the same kind of thing, very simple but very classy. If you look at the neck, it is a slim neck. It's a lot slimmer than the neck on my other Takamine dreadnought, which is an ED25 SC/NS. I would say this is more comfortable. And there is, if you can see it, there is a truss rod, so you can adjust the action or the relief of the neck. The tuners here, they're typical closed tuners. They look like standard issue Takamine tuners. They should serve their purpose well. And the action on this that I got it is very good. The neck is not, there's not too much relief on the neck. One interesting thing I found about this guitar is this saddle. It looks like a plastic saddle. It's not compensated on the second string on the B string. In other words, usually there's a ramp that goes this way so that you get a slightly longer scale length on the B string. You don't have that with this guitar, oddly. But it doesn't matter too much. So I'll let you hear it. Use the flat pick. some soloing. And let's hear how it sounds with a capo. I'll just do a quick intonation check. That one's a little bit off. It's okay on this fret. Ever so slightly off, but usually the B string is off on the 7th fret, just a bit. E string much better. So there you have it. It's a playable guitar. I'm using, I think these are Diodario Phosphor Bronze gauge 11 string, EJ16 I think. Very playable. It's got that warm, round, mellow sound that is so different from Spruce, where it's so bright and shiny and shimmery in the trebles. Here it's still very clear. It sounds deep and rich. Everything they've said about mahogany guitars, mahogany tops has been borne out by my experience with this. I can honestly say that this guitar could pass for a solid top guitar. My other Takamine is a solid top. It's a solid cedar top. That one's got a little bit more brightness, a little bit more resonance, and a little bit more volume and sustain. But this one isn't too far behind. What I've experienced from this guitar in person, from what I've seen on YouTube, is pretty much what I was expecting. It is an outstanding value. It's a great beginner's guitar. It's a great guitar. It's great like second guitar for a gigging player, an experienced player, and not a lot of money. I believe you can get this for about $220 in the US. Of course, if you get the MCE version with the cutaway and the electronics here, it'll be more expensive. But you can have a pickup attached to this guitar. I probably will at some point further on. But this is my third Takamine. My very first Takamine was an old classical acoustic electric cutaway that's 21 years old and is still in my church here in the outskirts of Metro Manila. It's still going strong, so I know that it's gonna last. I think Takamine is a very good brand. I've played some ordinary sounding G and D series Takamines here in the Philippines. G series is the affordable brand, affordable level that's sold here and in other parts of the world in the US. But in Asia, they have the D series, which is kind of similar to the G series. My D series Takamine, the ED25SC-NS, is solid top, but it's D, so it's affordable. Now the D and the Gs here, a lot of them haven't really done that much for me. The 1DE, I think is the name, 1DE something, which is an entry-level laminated top Takamine dreadnought, just like this one, didn't sound anything near as good as this. This is really sweet. It's got a lot of really good sustain, very balanced. Really punches above its weight. You know, I can compare this to, say, the Yamaha F310. I played that here, and really not a very good guitar. Like an entry-level laminated. I think even more expensive than this, and can't recommend that guitar. But this one, fantastic, and I think it's gonna sound even better when I have the nut and the saddle and the pins changed to bone, or maybe ebony pins, like I've done with my other guitar, to add to the resonance. I think it's going to be fantastic. This is not as deep. This side here isn't as big as my other dreadnought, so it's better for somebody like me with a big stomach. But there's enough volume in here for a really fantastic really big acoustic sound that we all like here with a dreadnought. So that's about it for this review of the Takamine GD11M-NS. I hope it's been informative and useful for you, and please keep on watching my videos, like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll have another guitar to review for you soon. Bye for now.